Hey guys, it is Friday here in West Virginia, so it's time for our usual Free It Friday. Today's kind of more like a free-for-all Friday, and please excuse me, and my voice is once again a little messed up. So anyways, today we're going to take a look at a couple of customs. Actually, only one. The truck is actually one custom, but it's just a body swap. You guys have seen that before in one of my older videos. And then we're going to take a look at the SEMA Buick Regal and a couple of other loose cars I've acquired. I've been acquiring a lot of loose stuff lately, so the stuff like new in the package, I don't really have anything to crack open. It's kind of odd. It seems like the stuff that I've been buying has been loose, except for like the what were they? What did we unbox the other day? The Fine Works 64 Impalas. Those almost slipped my mind. The name of the company. Okay, so we've seen this truck before. Now here's my latest creation. This is a Monte Carlo SS from Greenlight. It's based on their 85 that was an exclusive for a Diecast store, but now I can't see the plate because the parachutes are mounted there. The name of the Diecast place, I think, was on the license plate, but instead we put a set of dual parachutes back there off of a funny car, I think from Auto World was the donor for that. I think the Willy bars came off some Hot Wheels car. They were chrome, but they were scratched up a little bit. So I went over them with a red marker. I got a little bit on the base. I should have done it when they were off the car. I kind of forgot. And then we did the wheels on the Willy bars in a matte black. The interior is full custom. The original interior, the only thing left is the dashboard. Trying to get it to focus in. You can you can see in there next to the door, there's a chrome bar. There's like a 6-point cage in here that is chrome. You can kind of see it through the back window. All these imperfections of the windows is how the car came from Greenlight. Unfortunately, they're not that clear, so you can't see every detail. But I used a chrome marker, the color of the cage, and it has a set of racing bucket seats. The door panels and such are gone. I actually painted the inside of the doors matte black to correspond with the interior. The center of the steering wheel has been chromed, and then we removed the hood and installed a detailed blow-in big block, like the pulleys and stuff, and the butterflies and the scoop have been detailed, and installed a radiator that kind of resembles like an aluminum radiator. Man, my voice is really bad today. Now you can see what I've done to the chassis. The chassis, I had to kind of dig out a lot to get these wheels to fit and still roll. They do roll fairly good. Sometimes when it's on the ground, it hangs up a little bit. I'm not sure where it's hanging up. I think it's hitting the body still. I may try to suck the tires and under the car a little more, but we're running out of material. So that's the thing that stopped me right now. I just wanted to get them where they would clear the quarter panel, which they do for the most part. As I said, occasionally it'll hang up when you're rolling it on the ground. And I wanted the front wheels in a little further than the back ones, or at least even with them. So what I did, I took a nail file and filed the back of the wheel, that little raised area that the axle slides into. I filed that down some so that the wheels would tuck in under the car a little bit. I would have liked for it to set a little bit lower, but unfortunately you can't. The way the casting's designed and such, it just won't allow you to drop the back much further. You probably could grind some out of the inside of the quarter panel, but you'd be chancing of like actually going all the way through. And the front end, the inner fenders are like thick die cast in here. So you really can't drop the front much more unless you have a smaller diameter wheel, which I don't think would look right. But if you look at a lot of Pro Street Montes online and stuff, the real deal, they look just like this pretty much. That's how they set and things. So it's really not bad at all. But as you can see, it does roll. But as I said, it does get hung up a little. I don't know, the driver's side a little more than the passenger side. But it's good enough for me. It just stays in the cabinet anyways. So that was my latest custom creation. And then the next car that's going to be kind of a donor, not really a donor, but it's going to be the next custom. And it's going to undergo a base swap, but with a 3D printed lowrider base. That is this guy here. When I took it out, I already did a wheel swap on it because I think the wheels from Auto World look a little bit better than the stuff from M2 for spokes anyways. So I did that swap, and that's about the only thing I did to it, because later on it's going to get the base swapped and the wheels swapped for some 3D printed Daytons, just like the black Chase Regal. So we have that coming up, but this is the one from SEMA. Pretty cool looking car. I like the wild paint job. It does simulate like what a real lowrider is. So with the crazy graphics and such, the different colors and things, not so much like different colors do lowriders do, but they do this inlay type paint jobs, or like panel, basically I call it panel style paint job, where they do the outline of the panel they're working on, then insert different shapes and such to correspond with the shape of the panels. And sometimes they switch up the color, or sometimes they just fade the color to a different one. But this one is multicolor. It looks really cool. I would have liked to have seen a more customized interior than just the regular gray Grand National interior. But anyways, it can be painted and detailed a little more. But let's get this thing out of here and take a look at it. But the thing is, with those bases that have the adjustable suspension, the back of the frame kind of goes up very high. It's basically like C-notched, like a truck frame with a truck with air ride, and there is no room for your back seat. So most of these cars get the back seat eliminated when you do the chassis swap. So the only thing you're messing with then is your front buckets. You could actually modify your back seat and put it on top of the area that is raised for the rear pivot ball for the rear axle if you wanted to. But yeah, very cool casting. Love the paint job. This looks a little ridiculous, though. They should have made it the same size as the B pillar. That's the only part of the paint job I do not like, is the way that is smaller than the window and smaller than the B pillar. It should have went all the way up and been even with the quarter glass, but they did not do that. So that's the only thing that I do not like about the paint job. And it's got SEMA printed in the back window. That's cool. 1987 on the plate. And the purple itself, as you can see, is a metallic. And their Regals are nice. Red acrylic taillight lenses, side mirrors, and then the front headlight buckets and the grille and bumper are all separate pieces. Pretty cool. And it's on the Slam chassis. So we're going to be doing 2 more Regals in the future, probably in mid-January. I'll get the parts from Canada, and we're going to be putting this guy on a fully adjustable frame, and then I don't know if we're going to go with an all-black Grand National or the purple lowrider from M2. The one of those 2 Regal Grand Nationals will be used. I'm leaning toward the all-black GN just because I think it would be cool to see one of those on chrome spokes with the fully adjustable chassis, so we may do that one. along with this guy. And then we're going to be doing this Cadillac back here too. So we have a few more customs coming up in the next few weeks. And then the other stuff I said I've been picking up loose. Sometimes I buy lots and I don't keep all of the stuff. But the two I kept out of the last lot that I bought. One is this 70 Plymouth Roadrunner. I've been looking for this guy for a while. You can find them on eBay, but they're usually like, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks. I didn't want to pay that much for it, so I found a loose one that I got for like $7. So not a bad price. And nice detail under the hood with the Hemi. And the color is unusual. It's not like a regular high impact color that you've seen on a lot of 70s. It's just a more conservative, like greenish blue color. So there's that one. And then last but not least, this guy here. And this is one car that Johnny Lightning did do pretty good with making it true to scale, because these 65 Nomads were about the same size as a Nova wagon, like the 62 to 65 body style. And I did a comparison to it with the Auto World Nova wagon, and they match up pretty good. And if you look up the length of a 65 Nomad and the Nova wagon, they're the same. And, well, giving like an inch or two difference, but not that much to really notice. But yeah, so I was really happy to see that with this. So I ordered a couple more of these wagons offline that are loose and such. So those would be here probably in the next week and such. I do really love this casting and haven't been able to get one for a while. And this blue one's really cool. You don't see this one come up too often. It's from the, I think, Johnny Lightning Road Trip series. As you can see, all the different bumper stickers on the back of the vehicle is kind of cool. And it's something that it says, I survived the Grand Canyon River Ride and Canyon de Chelly. And then the other one that is red, something Valley. I cannot, Monument Valley. Okay, there we go. Had it in the right light, could read it. So that's kind of cool that it has those bumper stickers on it. It tells a little bit of a story for the car. The family got in this old Nomad wagon and traveled around Nevada. So pretty cool. So that's it for today, guys. Sorry that I didn't have more unbox for you, but next week we should have the white Finework 64 Impala in, and we should have a couple more new cars, but they're going to be loose. And then whatever we find at Walmart, but I don't look to find much because with it being after Christmas, they're not going to be stocking that much. I think it's going to be inventory time, so Walmart will probably be dead for the next month. I probably will not be finding much there, so most of my finds will have to be off of like Facebook or eBay. So we'll see what happens, but we'll be back again on Monday for our Mopar Monday. So enjoy your weekend, guys, in the last week of 2025. Thanks for watching.